So yeah, I've grown out of the open source community, and in the open source community, what we found was that the open source has it's a huge social success story. We've got all these great people doing great stuff and building awesome software, except that the documentation is really crappy. And so what I was starting to go is, how can we fix this? I started moving into this documentation space and working out how could we improve the documentation, and started looking out for best practices to see what's out there. And there was sort of nothing. There wasn't really anything great. But what we did find was there's pockets of awesomeness. There's great stuff in different places. It's sort of in blog posts over here, and someone's gone and written a really good essay, and sometimes it's within an organization. And we sort of thought, okay, why don't we bring this all into one place and bring it under one umbrella, and so that we can all get access to this great stuff. And so we kicked off the Good Docs project specifically to go in and pull all of these great ideas in under one umbrella organization or group. It's effectively an open source project. And we've been doing this for about 2 years or so now. And we have somewhere between 10 and 20 people, depending on how you count. Very, very active. We are meeting once a week in a US time zone and an APEC time zone. The things that we have been knocking over and have got really good traction on is we've got some documentation templates to help you write well. We've got an incubated repository where we're starting to funnel things through in order to be able to get into these templates. We have a sort of like a base template, which you build out from. All the templates should sort of inherit the best practices of these. With regards to style guides, we all have one, but how do you sort of customize it within your organization? And Alicia's gone in and had a crack at that. We have some open source processes, and there's a bunch of us have all been working out how to tweak these processes to help improve things. Code of conduct, that's actually really quite a challenging one, in that there are a bunch of code of conducts out there, but again, we haven't really got any consolidated way to, like the Creative Commons license, just go in and have a nice little flow of saying, I want this, I want that, and then turn it over and make it easy. It keeps on getting written from scratch. We've got people working on personas. We've got people working on a fictional example project, because when you create an example, you really need like the equivalent of a hello world, but probably something a little bit more complicated than that. And so people are working on a time machine fictional example project. We've also got a glossary pilot where it's quite easy to create a glossary for one document, a little harder to do it for your project, a little bit harder still to do it for your whole organization, because every time you go out, you've got more people to collaborate on and agree on terms. And if you actually go and try and get this glossary to work for the entire world type of problem, it becomes harder still. And so what we're endeavoring to do is to find the best practices around that, and to create standards that people can use to effectively make these glossaries connect and talk to each other. And there's a whole bunch of extra stuff, and you've been talking about it in the presentations so far, and I want to talk to each and every one of you who've been talking about micro content and best videos and all sorts of stuff. I'd love to see them all being collated and put through effectively this publishing pipeline. What are your best practices? Let's get it into this pipeline and make it available to everyone in the world, and make it awesome for everyone. That's me. That's my idea. And we have a Unconference session that we're going to run at 4:15 Australian daylight saving time, which is in a bit over an hour. So if you've got any more questions, please drop by, say hello. Love to talk to you. Love to hear what you have to say.